once again, watchers of good TV shows or internet videos. My name is Nick Pell, and this is once again coming from my college dorm room. Now today I'm going to be talking about a online TV show which started out last year and then just finished up season 2 as I'm filming this video. Video Game High School VGHS season 2. It's essentially a show which takes place in the universe where video games are like the sports of this world. People go to school to become professional gamers, and they have it's much higher tech than we have here, as far as I can tell. But it's actually really neat. Just for the record, I'll be talking about things probably from season 1 of this. So if you haven't seen season 1 of VGHS, probably don't watch this or be aware of spoilers. And I will talk about the ending of season 2 after the credits of this video, so stay tuned to that if you want to see that. So getting right into it, we have Josh Blaylock as Brian D. He is the main character of the show and the main protagonist. In season 1, he came to the school as kind of a guy who just got in on luck. He defeated the #1 amateur gamer called The Law. He just kind of beat him on a fluke, and he got an invite to VGHS, and he kind of rises through the ranks. In season 1, he does get kicked out, and then kind of redeems himself in a tournament. Season 2 is essentially, it seems like a new year is kind of happening at VGHS. We see Brian together with Jenny Matrix, and who is played by Joanna Brady, who is gorgeous. I'm not gonna lie, she is gorgeous. He has his best friend Ted Wong, who is played by Jimmy Wong, and Ted is dating Key Swan, who is played by Ellery Porterfield, and then the main antagonist of the show, The Law, played by Brian Ferenzi. All of the actors in the show do a really good job. It's actually quite impressive for an online show just to see like how serious and how well acted these characters are for not being on like an actual TV show. But I've seen like behind the scenes features and all that stuff, and it is quite impressive the work that goes into this show. Beginning in season 2, each character has their own little plot point for the most part. The Law has been framed for a crime that he did not commit, which I believe was cheating or hacking or some sort of thing in the game that he was playing. And his kind of debacle is, we see him at basically his lowest depths. He's kind of in hiding in some aspects. He can't game on campus, and he's just kind of interesting to watch. And it becomes a story of redemption for him, more or less. With Brian D., he and Jenny Matrix are once again on the VGHS FPS team, and they have to deal with their relationship issues. Jenny has to deal with her mother showing up as the new captain. That's a very interesting story to see fold out or play out throughout the season. With Ted, he is now in the drift racing area, and we see him kind of grow as a drift racer and become kind of respected as a drift racer. He's also dealing with his relationship with Key Swan. She becomes a RA for their floor, and she kind of takes it upon herself to be the best RA possible. She has to deal with her father in one episode, which is a very cool thing to see. And just all these characters, they have their stories, and they all kind of blend together, and they're all like best friends and everything like that. And I thought it worked really well story-wise. One thing that I would say is that the fact that this show wasn't as long episode-wise as season 1, we didn't exactly get to see all these characters really develop. Like in season 1, we were introduced to all these characters, so we got to see them kind of unfold as the season went on. But once these characters are established, the only 2 characters which I personally felt really kind of developed and had character development was Brian D. and Jenny Matrix. It seemed like everyone else was just kind of they were doing their own thing, and there wasn't immense character development. Key had a little bit, and Ted had a little bit, but it wasn't really immensely significant to their characters. Yeah, in terms of enjoyment, I really did enjoy season 2. I was looking forward to it coming out every Friday for the 6 weeks that it aired, and yeah, I'm very much looking forward to season 3, and I'm talking about why when I talk about the ending or the last episode of season 2 after the credits of this video. And yeah, if you haven't seen VGHS for some reason, they have it in a movie version on Netflix, or you can watch the episodes on Freddie W's channel. Definitely check it out if you haven't. It's definitely worth your time. So that is my review of VGHS Season 2. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe if you so choose. I'd appreciate it immensely. And as always, my good people, my name is Nick Pell, and once again, keep on watching.
And take a look at your son now. Take a look at your son now. Take a look at your son now. Take a look at your son now.
And if you are still watching, you are here to see my thoughts on the ending to VGHS Season 2. Now, this is primarily talking about the last episode, so yeah, just know that. In the 5th episode of the season, we see the Law kind of do his own little side story. He's kind of becoming an investigator, trying to figure out who framed him and why. And he kind of forms a relationship with the robot who commentated on Pwn Zone. We see that play out. That was actually one of the deeper episodes for the Law. We got to kind of see him kind of star in an episode, and I really like that. We see him kind of find the evidence to get him his freedom and show that he was framed, so he's not really banned from VGHS anymore. The episode starts out, basically, we have beginning of tension building between Ted and Brian. And we've kind of seen this happening throughout the season. Brian is putting Jenny in front of Ted in terms of time hanging out and stuff like that. Ted is kind of starting to miss his best friend and stuff like that. And that is made evident when Ted is going to look for Brian, and he finds the best friend badge that he got him for the weird holiday that they came up with on the ground, and he feels very hurt by this. With Brian and Jenny, Brian tells Jenny that he loves her. She does not reciprocate this right away because she is scared of what her mother will think. And I really liked the confrontation that she had with her mother finally, especially since we saw in the episode where she had to give the speech about her mother, saying how she's a great mother, and she basically had to lie about how she felt about her mom. And she tells her mom straight out, I had to lie in front of everybody because of that. And she says, she basically talks down her mom, and I really respected that, and I really liked that scene. I thought it worked really well. And then we have Key, who is very bored now. She has kind of gotten everything kind of figured out for her floor, so she's become pretty bored, and she's trying to find something to do. So we have the big matches of this episode. We have the FPS team doing their final match before the playoffs versus this raped school. We have Brian and Jenny not benched like they originally thought they were going to be, which is kind of predictable. And then they're kind of getting their asses handed to them, and then the coach sends them the Law. When I saw this happen, I was like, yes, we get to see them act. We see Brian and the Law act as allies, and I thought that was a really cool thing. I would have liked the idea of that continuing, with like the Law kind of becoming a better person and starting to respect Brian and become a part of the team, not just be a one-man show all the time. I'll get to why that didn't happen later. We have Ted, who's realized that the racing team gambles with their money and the gamble on racing games and stuff like that. He decides to go in for it. He challenges DK after getting wasted by everyone else. We have Key, who is doing her own fighter. What is it? She does her fighting game versus an opponent who just kind of shows up randomly on campus. We get to see Key kind of show off her fighting skills. And then with the FPS match, we have the Law. He's kicking ass now, and we see once again Brian and the Law kind of working together. And Brian and Jenny kind of growing closer when they're kind of pinned down in the fort. And so they do end up winning the match, everything, celebrating everything, and the mom, or Jenny's mom, decides to just kind of go with it, go with her daughter dating Brian, and so that'll be kind of cool to see in season 3. I think seeing how that works out with the playoffs coming up and everything like that. And then I thought the law was going to be noble for a second, but no. He gets offered to play on a professional team, which would be their opponents in the playoffs. And at first you think, no, this school runs through my blood. This is where I made my name. So he thought, this is where I'm going to stand and fight. He's like, nope, I'm out of here. See you guys. And he signs the contract, and the law is once again an antagonist, which I think is funny because if the show keeps going the way it's going, he's just going to keep getting beaten by Brian and Jenny. And then you have Key. She wins her match because she realizes that the thing that she wants to do is help people more than anything, and so she decides to run for student body president against the guy who framed the law, whose name I do not know. Then Ted, he wins the match against DK. Feels kind of valued now as a racer, which I thought was quite cool. The last two scenes of the show, we have Brian and Jenny. They're just kind of chatting, and then Jenny eventually says that she loves Brian too, and then they kiss and the fade to black for them. And then we have Brian going to tell Ted the good news, and he realizes that Ted has moved out. That could be a very interesting confrontation to witness in season 3. Just seeing the division between Brian and Ted, and probably seeing Key having to kind of deal with that. Yeah, overall, I did enjoy the ending to VGHS. I thought it was really well done. It built tension, and it was 40 minutes long, which was awesome. And yeah, overall, really good season, really good series, and I look forward to season 3. Leave a comment down below on what you thought about season 2 or the finale or what have you. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe if you so choose. I'd appreciate it immensely. And as always, my good people, my name is Nick Pell, and once again, keep on watching.